is up, everybody? Back. I'm fucking dying here. This man continually has to take fucking drink selfies. Like,
Listen, man, you got to let them know, baby. You got to let them know.
Jesus Christ. Oh, like, I think you take more selfies than my fucking teenage daughters, but I love it, man. I love it. You even put on the Saquon Barkley jersey because we get Brandon on too. Fuck it.
I had to do it, man. Brandon came to the Start Sit show, and he's coming to the recap show. I have to celebrate Saquon Barkley. Damn it!
You can celebrate him all you want. You can celebrate him all you want. He looked good.
I mean, come on, baby. He looked really good. Come on, Brandon. Come on, man.
He did. I mean, he definitely looked his explosive self. I mean, obviously, he had that nice 67-yard run, but he looked good throughout the day. I was very impressed as a Barkley person who thought that might be the only fantasy relevant piece on the Giants this year. He proved that today.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. He's likely the only piece that matters there right now. Tony didn't look like anything. So, whoops.
No. He looked great when he touched the football. The fact that he just was never on the fucking field.
Yeah.
Richie James. What are we doing, Dable? Richie fucking James. Come on. Man, Saquon did look fucking phenomenal. For all of those of you who follow us, you have known for a while if we had him on a contender, we weren't fucking moving him. And if we had him on a rebuilder, we probably weren't moving him because people were being ridiculous with what they're offering, right? Like, I'll give you 1 first. Fuck out of here. Price is now 2 first, and we're probably talking some plus. And if you don't want to give that, hit the road. I'll find somebody who will. This is a guy who, man, against the Titans, good defense, and he's still, what's he going to finish? RB1 on the week? Barring something crazy? He's got to be up there.
He'll be a top 3, I think.
Is Devonta the only one that can get him, really, or Penny, right? Oh, there's Zeke too.
I mean, Zeke, Fournette, maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly,
but I don't think they'll have. I don't think they'll have as many yards, though. That's the thing. I don't think either one will have the yards. If they do it, they're going to have 2 touchdowns.
For sure.
Yeah, he's leading right now, correct? And then Swift behind him?
I believe so.
Oh, Taylor just edging him and then Swift.
Okay. Fair enough. That works. But, I mean, we're talking about a guy. Adam, I don't know, was it a couple weeks ago when we did the Our Guys podcast for 4D and Barkley was on there? One of our guys. And I said then, he's one of the only ones out there who can finish as RB1 overall. Like, there's only a handful of those guys. And we saw why today. Like, he just didn't give a shit. That 2-point conversion, even though it's only worth 2 points, was one of the most impressive things. He's just like, fuck it, I'm getting in. Y'all kiss my ass. I'm getting these points. So, Saquon Barkley, Adam, you love him. You got the fucking jersey on. You changed into that jersey. At what point, when he got over 100 yards, did you put the jersey on, or was it just recently?
When the field goal missed, I put it on for B because they got the W too. This was a lot for B, man.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Brandon, your Giants got to win. Are you still pessimistic? Danny Jones still shit?
Of course I am. Like, here, why are we trying to win? What are we trying? Like, here's the thing. They didn't give him a 5th-year option. They haven't re-signed Saquon. Like, these are 2 guys that are not – I mean, Dable's trying to figure out what pieces he's got. But at the end of the day, like, Saquon is going to be your only fantasy relevant piece from this. And so if you're going to try to – if you're looking for Levis, if you're looking for Anthony Richardson, if you're looking for Stroud or Young, any one of those top 4, you can't be winning games against Tennessee. You just can't be you can't be winning these games. Now, don't get me wrong. As a Giants fan, it's great to see the W. But 23-21, man, that would have been a win. We put our best effort out there, but we're just a little bit too short. I said in the Destination Debbie Discord, the Giants have pieces, but they're talent deficient in a lot of areas. Like, you saw at the end how bad that secondary is. That secondary is burnt toast.
Yeah, it's bad, man. It's bad.
And like they need more talent. That's just what it is. They need more talent, and they need more high-end talent. You're not going to get that at pick 16, 17, being a 7-10 team.
For sure. We weren't right on some pieces though. So Kadarius Toney, we kind of touched on that. I mean, he looked good when he touched the ball, but just wasn't getting on the field. Sterling Shepard, I know people will probably be all over him, but let's be honest, man. Had 4 targets, 2 catches. Let's just pump the brakes a little bit here. Like, Richie James, Saquon Barkley led the team in targets. Kenny Galladay didn't do shit. Wandale got hurt. We didn't see anything, not a single target from Daniel Bellinger. So maybe we need to slow our roll a little bit on there. As far as the Titans go, Derrick Henry, what'd y'all think about Derrick Henry? Just kind of a ho-hum. I mean, I don't want to bury him, but he didn't look great. He didn't look bad. He just kind of looked whatever.
Yeah, Giants. I mean, the Giants' run defense is probably better than their pass defense. He didn't break one of those big runs. He had a couple really he was okay. Like, he wasn't the great King Henry, but he was like a pretty decent version of himself.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. He looked older. I don't want to say he looked slower. He just didn't have that breakaway speed that he typically has when he hits the hole.
What do you think about him, Adam?
I don't know, man. I don't even know if I have a thought on him. I'm being honest. I don't fucking know. I watch so much damn football. I'm trying to process everything that still happens still. I mean, there was a lot of really good performances in games today, man. And I'm excited for a lot of the guys that we were hyping, Mike, to be honest with you.
For sure. We had some misses, right? Devonta Smith didn't do shit.
Smitty was horrible. Kyle Pitts had a really bad day.
Mooney, Ayuk, I mean, it was a weather game. Lance Fields. I'm
willing to kind of give those ones a pass, though, no?
Yeah, on the weather. I talked with Brandon when we did stages in the Destination Devi Discord. I'm not going to take a whole lot from that game. I mean, it was kind of a clusterfuck to start with. So, I mean, I'm not going to have a whole lot of takes from there.
I mean, if you're victory lapping from that game, I told you Trey Lance, or I told you Justin Fields wasn't good,
right.
Or Darnell Mooney isn't a alpha. Like, you clearly didn't watch the game, or you just don't like football. Like, because that was just an insanely slippery track. It was just wasn't there.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Dynasty FF says ATM's either exhausted or still struggling with the Akers performance or lack thereof. Yeah, the Akers performance. We all know the Akers egg is on my face, man. It's a rough one for your boy with Akers. But we're on to Sunday football, man. Come on, let's talk Sunday football. Damn it.
Sunday football. Green Bay Packers and the Vikings. Well, let's touch on the Packers and the Vikings.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers looked like shit. The whole offense looked like shit. They didn't do nothing. I mean, A.J. Dillon, a little bit of a saving grace. Aaron Jones was all right, I guess. I mean, you're talking 49 yards on the ground. Still missed his rushing prop. Thanks a lot, Aaron Jones. 3 catches, 27 through the air on 5 targets. None of the wide receivers were really worth a fuck, man. I mean, Romeo Doubs had 5 targets, and people are going to victory lap that.
They're probably victory lapping that Christian Watson isn't a thing after that hideous drop on the first drive.
Yeah, it was absolutely horrendous, that drop.
Did you guys see Aaron Rodgers' eyes after he dropped it?
Yeah.
Kind of just like, I kind of told you that was going to happen.
It was pretty bad. The Vikings, on the other hand, Justin Jefferson is still that dude, in case y'all forgot. 9 for 184 and 2 touchdowns. It just seemed like he was open whenever the hell he decided he wanted to. And then even if he wasn't open, he was like, I'm still catching this football.
Man, Jefferson, and that day was mild in the second half. Very mild, right? Like,
yes.
The first half he put up was ridiculous.
I expected more out of Dalvin Cook. His first half was shit, but his second half, he turned it on a little bit. But, of course, they're playing with the lead for most of the time in the second half. Anything from this game that stood out to you, Brandon?
Just the interesting usage of Aaron Jones. We talked about it. We've talked all offseason about A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones and how they would mesh, and it just looked like AJ Dillon was more of the actual running back, and Aaron Jones was kind of used in like a hybrid Tymo like position. And so, like from fantasy perspective, we're thinking like, hey, that guy's going to be an RB1. Aaron Rodgers got to be more efficient. That whole offense has to be more efficient for that to happen. Because Minnesota's good, not great. And if they're going to be playing teams, that are better competition throughout the season, I'm not saying be panicked, but I'm just saying like we may need to temper expectations on what we expect week in, week out with Aaron Jones.
I think that's fair. It did kind of remind me last year of when Zeke was hurt and the way that the Cowboys used kind of Zeke and Tony Pollard, where Aaron Jones was more in that like Tony Pollard role where it was like, just give him more touches. He's obviously super explosive. Not that Aaron Jones was bad. He kind of seemed like the guy they were favoring throughout the whole game. And I don't know if it's because they were trying to save Aaron Jones or whatnot, but if the Packers don't get their shit together relatively soon, and Rodgers gets some cohesion going with a lot of these wide receivers that he has no real rapport with, it isn't going to matter if you save them or not because your ass ain't going to make the playoffs. So
T-Rock says that he had 30 of his 33 points in the first half, Jefferson. The other thing, too, man, is with Green Bay, right? Like, if you remember last year, they had that horrible week 1, and then they turned it on, right? I think the difference here is, I'm not saying they can't turn it on to an extent, but like you could kind of tell Adams being gone is something that hurts this team. I mean, the first play, like imagine your career, you start off with you're either a 75-yard touchdown or a fucking drop pass while you're wide open 75 yards. That is a rough deal for a kid like Watson and Rodgers' rapport with him too. Not saying he won't give him another chance, but you saw how few of targets he really got the rest of the game, right? And that's in a negative game script. So I would say I'm cautiously – like I'm treading with caution, but I'm not like overly worried about this offense. I think Brandon's right, though. If they don't get their shit together, man, I don't even know who you want in this offense because you kind of thought it was going to be Jones for sure.
Yeah, that was the one guy I was kind of planting my flag on too and didn't look so good.
Like if Jones isn't a reliable – top 15 running back option, what in this offense can you rely on? Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the box score right now.
Let's talk about it, Brandon. Go ahead.
All right. Who do you think had more targets, AJ Dillon or Aaron Jones?
Dillon.
By 1. He had 6 targets over 5. So it is clearly a 50-50 split on the receiving part. And then you toss in AJ Dillon had 10 carries. Aaron Jones had 5. Yeah. Right. So we're talking touch count. We're talking because AJ Dillon had 5 catches. So he had 15 total touches and Aaron Jones had 8. Whoa, that's a gap. Like I'm not trying to like throw the panic alarm up, but people were buying AJ Dillon for single 24 firsts.
Yeah.
Right, I know a lot of people were just kind of. I mean, we've had the conversation like, what do you sell AJ Dillon for? Single first, and now all of a sudden that single first, might turn out to be pretty valuable because, I mean, if he's gonna get 15 touches in a negative game script, because you'd think that AJ Dillon would be out of the 2 backs would be the one that's phased out, right?
Yeah,
he's a bigger back. Yeah. He's more of the running back. He's like, we're talking the opposite way. There might be like. Maybe I do need to invest a little bit in AJ Dillon. Maybe they're saying something and we're just not listening.
Hey, you're on to something, Brandon. I've kind of been on the anti-AJ Dillon thing, and not because of anything to do with the talent. I just always thought it was going to be Aaron Jones. And week 1 is definitely telling us otherwise. Now, I'm probably going to wait and see what it looks like in week 2, because we saw the Packers look god-awful week 1 last year and then get their shit together and go forward, right? And maybe they do it again. I'm not going to bank on it, but I do want to see like one more week before I'm like, fuck it, I'm in. Give me all the AJ Dillon in the world, and I guess I need to panic sell all my Aaron Jones.
Dynasty FF says, ATM, if Schultz drops 25, I'll have to crack open the WFP and send you a taster. That's the Weller foolproof for you guys. So I'm hoping – I'm guessing that means you need Schultz to go off, and
It's very possible.
I see 25 in the range of outcomes for him. Let's get that Weller foolproof, man. Hell yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the Chiefs, Cardinals. The Chiefs absolutely fucking murdered the Cardinals. Just wasn't a competitive game at all. Arizona's offense was fucking horrible. Their defense was fucking horrible. Everything about Arizona was bad. James Conner, I guess, looks okay because he snuck in the end zone for a fucking touchdown, so yay. But he was bad. Kyler was bad. The receivers are bad. Hollywood kind of salvaged his day with a garbage time touchdown. On the Chiefs side, no Tyreek, no problem. No, let's be honest, didn't seem to bother him at all.
No.
Juju got fed a lot. We knew Travis Kelce was going to eat with no Tyreek. 8 for 121 and 1. Clearly, especially on a week where pretty much all the tight ends were bad, right? Pitts disappeared. Waller was okay, but no Kittle. Hawkinson wasn't great. Goddard wasn't great. I mean, the tight end position was severely lacking on the slate. And Kelsey's just like, hold up, I got y'all. I'm going to feed Travis fucking Kelce. Went out there and dominated. Clyde Edwards-Helaire got a couple touchdowns in the receiving game. Outside of that, I wasn't too impressed with this work.
If there's an opportunity to sell, I think Brandon's 100% right. I would be selling CEH on this. I will say, man, maybe Cardinals defense is not very good, but man, I was very impressed. That was one I wanted to see, right? Like I wanted to see what this offense looked like without Tyreek Hill and how these, like similar to Green Bay, right? When you lose a guy that important and you have these young pieces coming in or new pieces coming in, like I wanted to see what that looked like. They were polar opposites. I almost think, you know what I almost think, Brandon? I almost think that Patrick Mahomes knows y'all motherfuckers are taking me 3 now in Superflex. Who the fuck did this? I got to show you guys. I don't care who I'm throwing to. I'm Patrick motherfucking – dude, he looked unbelievable. That offense looks really good, man.
Can I make a statement?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, go for it, baby.
This might actually be the best iteration of this offense that we will see under Patrick Mahomes.
It's possible. I agree with you. I mean,
he no longer has to feel like – because I feel like for the last few years it's been I either got to throw to Kelce over the middle or I've got to just throw a deep bomb to Tyreek. Right? This offense has almost every different type of piece that you would want, right? It's now got the physical possession receiver in Juju. It's got the speedster in MVS, right? It's got the tactical route runner in Sky Moore. And then you add in Kelce, right? And then in the backfield, who cares what's coming at you? I'm looking at the box score right now. Clyde was 7 for 42. Jet was 4 for 22. Isaiah Pacheco, who had a ton of work at the end, was 12 for 62. They were averaging almost 5 yards a carry on the ground. Like, I know that the Cardinals' defense probably maybe isn't the best defense that they're going to see all year. But, man, if this is the kind of offense that the Chiefs are going to roll out week in, week out, it's going to be scary. Like, they're going to put up some serious numbers week in, week out.
Yeah, they looked unbelievable, man.
I don't know if they were sleeping or not because the Cardinals do have some pieces on defense. Like they do have some, and I get it. They were missing J.J. Watt, understandable, and they lost Chandler Jones in the offseason. I get it, but I mean, we're still looking at names that we know: Zaven Collins, Isaiah Simmons, Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, and Byron Murphy. Like they have some pieces on defense. They should have been better than this. They got absolutely fucking embarrassed by the Chiefs. Andy Reid gave no fucks. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes gave no fucks. They were like, we got this. We're going to spread the ball around. When we need a big play, we're going to Travis Kelce or we're going to go to Juju. But other than that, you don't know who's going to burn you. I mean, Miko got involved. Not great. Like fantasy-wise, he did get a touchdown, but he got involved. Jet was involved. Sky Moore had a big catch. And then we're drawing up plays. We're at the point now where that offense is like, hey, we're going to draw up some fucking plays for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like that little underhand first touchdown that he had, that was a beautiful play to sign you. Who's going to put Clyde Edwards-Helaire at fullback? Andy Reid. That's who. Yeah,
that play had Andy Reid written all over it. Wyatt says started A.J. Dillon over Zeke. I feel really good about that now. Trying to
we'll see in about questions. We'll see in 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see in 2 hours.
I tend to agree with you, but you never know, man.
No, you never know.
Yeah, Jay Rich is right, man. I do think this is also part of it. Jay Rich says the Cardinals are straight dog shit. Like, I don't know how to disagree with this. They looked horrible,
I mean,
man.
It's facts.
They looked horrible.
Kyler's got to put the controller down.
Bro.
Crying out loud, that offense was broken the entire first half.
I know that
The only reason there's 21 points on the board is because Kansas City was like, we're just gonna play prevent for the entire second half. Like,
yeah, I mean, and I know, sometimes flow of a game is important. Like they were getting dominated on time of possession, first half, but they didn't do anything that inspired me offensively, really. I don't know, man. Even Hollywood just sneaking in the end zone there at the end kind of saved his day. We were expecting things out of him. Like, I don't know what to make of this offense, man. I don't.
It was on a milk carton. They were literally they call him the phone number looking for them because like Zach Ertz, he was active. They made Trey McBride inactive. So you're like, Zach Ertz is probably healthy enough to run some routes. 4 targets, doesn't see the ball until the end. Like Marquise Brown, they traded for him and they spent up for him. 4 for 43. Greg Dortch was the leading receiver. Greg Dortch, 7 for 63 on 9 targets. Like, what are we doing?
I know. Dynasty Alex has a question. Sorry, Dynasty RB1. Is it still Taylor or is Swift sneaking to that 1B conversation?
I can't move Swift over yet.
Well, he's not saying move over, but is it 1A 1B?
I can't put him in that tier yet either.
Okay,
I can't just yet. Just because JT is so damn consistent and he's so healthy all the time. I mean, I got fake wood here, I think, on this desk. Maybe it's real, but I'm knocking on this shit. He's always so damn healthy. Swift, we know, has some issues getting banged up now and then, so like that's still gonna separate it for me. But he's always been in tier 2 for me. He's still gonna stay there, but damn, he looked good.
Man, let me give you my input, and then Brandon, I want to hear what you have to say on this matter too, because like the reason I would say that JT still has to be 1, and I think not Swift at 1B, they were in negative game script, right? They were down, like they're trailing the whole game. This man still put up 25 points. Like a lot of times they might be in positive game script, and that's when he really feasts. That was out of negative game script. And then on top of that, I think here's the thing with Swift, right? Swift had, dude, think about this. Jamal Williams stole 2 touchdowns from him today, though.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
I mean,
fucking Jamal Williams.
I know, like the 1 touchdown he had, the 2nd touchdown Williams had, right? Is because Swift had that great play to get 30-plus yards, so they gave him a breather at the 3. Like, I don't know that Jamal Williams is constantly going to get all those goal line work, that goal line work either. I think to Mike's point, though, the health is probably what keeps it separated from me.
Who do you fear more, too? Like, do you fear Nyheim Hines stealing work from JT, or do you feel Jamal Williams stealing more work from Swift?
Well, I would say this. The negative game script thing and how well JT showed really should show you how little Nyheim Hines matters to JT's production. Brandon, what do you got to say on the matter, though? Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I still think, and Jay Rich hit it in the chat, like until he's getting 20-plus touches a game, I don't think I could put Swift in that comfortable category yet. Like, I think Swift is kind of like more like Eckler, where he gets his touches and he's effective and efficient typically with those touches, right? And so that's why we build into Swift. We also build into Swift because he's more of a garbage time running back, right? He's just check down, and he's got check down Charlie Goff, throwing to him. And so that helps the situation. Whereas he doesn't always, like there's times where he does not always get the ball, right? Like either Jamal Williams is there or they'll do some crazy, back screens with Khalif Raymond. JT, you saw today on full display, like positive, negative, neutral. It doesn't matter. They were down, I think it was 20-0 or 13-0 at one point, and they were still handing the ball to JT, and he was still chunking off 8, 10, 11 yards of play. Like, I still think JT has it for this year, but there's definitely a conversation that's coming down the road that after this season, who comes up to that number 1 position? Because there is going to be definitely a conversation time for it.
Let me say this too. I think the one thing, like, every week, the NFL is such a week-to-week league, and I think we got to remember, especially early in the year, I wrote about this in the newsletter, Like, we got to be careful not to oversway our opinions, emotions, rankings based on 1 week, because the NFL changes week to week so much. So what I've seen on paper so far throughout with Taylor, like, he's separated for me. But with Swift, man, I'll tell you what I was really excited about here, and what I'm worried about possibly with Taylor is if that offense in Indy is actually going to struggle with like teams like Houston, like, I don't know how good this team's going to be. Like, they're lucky to get that fucking win, right? Like, or it's tie. Sorry, right? Tie?
Yeah. Not even a win.
I mean, shit. So, don't let me assume they beat Houston, right? They tied them. Detroit, I think that's the one thing about Swift that really makes him so exciting for me if he's healthy. Keyword if, because it doesn't matter what the game script is. They do give him carries. You saw today, the one thing to see about Swift that was exciting, the running out of him, right? Everyone says he's an inefficient runner. He was very effective as a runner today. And then when they get down versus Philly, you're going to catch him in the passing game. Like, that's what's so exciting for me with Swift is how much he can be used. And I think Detroit looks like they might actually take a little bit of a step forward as an offense.
So it's easy for me and you to take our victory laps, right, on DeAndre Swift, on Saquon Barkley, and Antonio Gibson. Adam, what about some of the negative ones? Like, let's touch quickly on Devonta Smith.
Yeah, bad one. Real bad.
Where are you at? Let's be realistic here. Where are you at? I knew we both like him, and we both had some concerns, but what are you going to do? I want to hear your thoughts, because I've been thinking about it for most of the afternoon in between watching football. Like, what do I do with this? Because it was not good at all.
It was not good. Here's the thing. I'll give you my personal opinion. Like, I think if anything, he's a buy. Like, I'm not going to sell. You're going to sell him right now?
You ain't getting shit for
the
him. The
market's going to be fucking ruined for the next until we see something out of him. Yeah. If I can get him cheap, man, I'd explore buying. Like, if someone's extremely panicked, I know what we saw today was not good. I will have to say that as great as I think he is as a player, today has to be concerning, though. Like, their offense moving that well, and A.J. Brown just being – I mean, it's almost like he's not just first read. He's the only read, and then it's, if that's not open, what do I do? That's what it looked like, you know?
Brandon hit it when we were doing the stages, right? Brandon, you said, like, they threw the ball 32 fucking times.
Yeah.
You got 4 targets and no catches. Like,
yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do with Devonta Smith? Like, I don't know if you were as in on him as me and Adam. Like, fuck, we made a video. I'm telling everybody to buy Devonta Smith, and like 20, late 23 first. I'd rather have Devonta Smith. I'm regretting that a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Today did not make me feel good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna again the same way we've talked about not jumping all the way off the cliff with guys like Gibson and Akers. I don't think you need to really jump all the way off the cliff with Devonta Smith. Like, if you look back at last year, and I think I hinted about this on the Start Sit show when someone brought up Devonta Smith. The Lions and the Eagles played last year. They won. The Eagles won 44-6, and the Eagles did a lot of their work on the ground. A lot of work on the ground. And that kind of almost rang true again today. They did a lot of their work on the ground. Like, yeah, Jalen Hurts had 32 pass attempts, but, I mean, they had 30, 35, 39 rush attempts. They were pretty balanced today, and they were just more effective on the ground. I mean, 5.5 yards on the ground and 7.6 yards through the air. So it wasn't like there was a ton of really, like, they really didn't need to really, like, throw the football, because once they got ahead, they really didn't have to do it. And yeah, he did hyper target A.J. Brown. I totally understand that. Like, but I think if you're looking at Devonta Smith coming into this year with A.J. Brown, you are already kind of probably pegging Devonta Smith more as like your wide receiver 3 flex. And when you're pegging those kind of guys, you're going to have to accept the fact that they're going to have a 0. They're going to have a 0 on 4 targets. Like,
yeah.
Is anybody, I mean, look at Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson's in the same boat for the most part. He had 1 catch on 2 targets. Like, I think you just got to be very kind of, I don't want to say like complete panic sell off. And like Adam said, you don't want to just this is the floor, right? Like, this is what he can be. No catches on 4 targets. He's still going to see work.
I like
He's just
it.
going to have to be efficient when he gets his 4 or 5 targets.
One thing I wanted to add to Brandon, I think that was a really well said what you just said there, and it made me think about this. Like when you talk about Stafford and that offense, right? Stafford and Kupp already had rapport. And Allen Robinson's coming in as new. The interesting part here is it's the opposite, where Smith has been there. I think he wants to go to A.J. Brown. That's very clear. But I also think, like, when you game plan for them this year, like there's nothing that coordinators could game plan with, right? Moving forward, like, you're going to see, holy shit, like, we got to take away A.J. Brown. And I think all along that's been something I've been excited about for Devonta Smith is he's going to see number two corners, and A.J. Brown's going to see a lot of coverage, and I think that's going to end up leaning to games where he does have a lot more wide open routes, which are big play opportunities for him.
I like it. Let's just say I do have some concern. I don't want to shit the bed, but you got to remember, Adam, you always hit it right. You hit it right on the newsletter, right? It's week 1. Pump the brakes just a little bit, right? Take a breath. All right, fellas, we'll get out of here on this last thing. I'm going to ask each one of you. Brandon, I'll start with you. Your biggest, from week 1, your biggest moment where you're like, aha, I knew it. I was right the whole time, right? Who's that guy? Who's that performance, good or bad? A guy you were fading or a guy you were pumping up where you're like, I'm glad I stayed in or I'm glad I got out?
I think this week is probably, I know it's kind of a layup drill, but he did it in the first half, was Justin Jefferson. I mean, we've talked about this Viking offense and how with a new head coach, new offensive coordinator coming over from the Rams, we expected kind of this hyper targeting of the wide receiver 1, and it showed itself today, right? 9 catches, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. Could have easily put up 250 yards had the game been a little bit closer. So I'm really excited to kind of see where Justin Jefferson finishes this season, because I really think he legitimately could be a Triple Crown winner.
Adam, what about you, mate?
I mean, it's DeAndre Swift for me at cost. Saquon's in that conversation, and so is Jahan Dotson. But I just think it's DeAndre Swift, man. I think today what we all saw was that, like, if there was a worry for you about Swift, it should only be injuries. Like, there's nothing for me to worry about when he's on the field.
Yeah. He's ridiculously good. You guys already know where the hell I'm going with it. Do I need to say it? Do I need to say it? Antonio Gibson.
You should for the people.
Mike, you need to say it, and you also need to get to, the fact that he didn't fumble.
He did not. People tried to like, hey, he fumbled. No, he didn't. It was Curtis Samuel. Don't put that voodoo on him. He did not fumble. Curtis Samuel fumbled. But Antonio Gibson got the majority of the work, pretty much all the work in the running game. 14 carries. Next one was Carson Wentz at quarterback, scrambling for his life at times. But the next actual running back, J.D. McKissic, only got 3 totes. And then in the receiving game, can you believe it? He led them in receptions, and I was told he can't catch. And that's why they brought back J.D. McKissic. J.D. McKissic in his 3 targets and 3 catches. Antonio Gibson said, hold my beer, I got you, 7 for 72. So welcome back, man. As long as B-Rob is not there, we're going to see how it is when he comes back week 5, week 6, whenever the hell he actually does, and see what the split is and how the work's divvied up. But for these next 4 weeks, baby, Antonio Gibson is back. Antonio Gibson is a must start for you every single week. And if you do not believe in Antonio Gibson, then this is the absolute perfect time to ride him out for the next couple of weeks and then sell him. And you're not going to be selling him at the stupid, crazy prices that we were seeing for the last few weeks. So Antonio Gibson, he's back for me. I'm not selling him. I never went anywhere, and I'm never going to leave because I don't think Brian Robinson is anything. Prayers up on the healing for the gunshots, but still, Antonio Gibson is the guy. Anything else, fellas? Quick takeaways, anything we want to say before we bounce out of here? We got another football game to watch. We need to go watch Tampa Bay put about 50 on the Cowboys.
I would say this. Jahan Dotson was a nice performance. That whole offense, like I'm curious to see when they're not playing Jacksonville, how it looks. That offense looked unbelievable this week. One other quick point is that Ravens game was kind of weird too. Duvernay looking really good. Bateman not looking great other than the one wide open touchdown. I'm going to be interested to see how this offense looks, man. It's kind of reminding me of last year where the run game's not all that great. It's just Lamar having to make plays.
Yeah. Be interested to see what it looks like when JK comes back, because that running game was absolutely atrocious. The whole Mike Davis over Cam Akers thing that Jay Rich was on, I don't think either one counts. I mean, Mike Davis got you 1 point.
It's still a win on Mike Davis, and the Cam Akers versus Gibson, me and Mike, it's way in Mike's favor right now. Easy.
Yeah, it's still early. I got faith.
Brandon, any final thoughts, man? Talk to the shitheads. Come on.
Just like and subscribe to the content that these two guys are putting out. I mean, I'm just jumping in having fun on Sunday nights, but these guys week in, week out are pumping out content left and right. So it's only week 1. There's still 17 more weeks to go. But we're just jumping into the grind of the season. Props to these two guys. I mean, Mike, we've been on pretty much what feels like all day. Just kind of just bounce in and out. But, I mean, content's coming. There's more content to be coming. Props to the two of you guys. But let's enjoy this Sunday Night Football game.
Appreciate it, B. One quick question I wanted to get to, and we'll get out of here on this. Wyatt Johnson says, thoughts on the Jets backfield, Mike and B?
Quickly, before I get out of here. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Brandon.
It's going to be a committee. Just get used to it.
I think it's going to be a committee for a while, but that's going to shift towards the end of the year. Kind of like the Jonathan Taylor thing from a couple years ago, in my opinion.
I'm 100% with Mike, man. It's going to be a committee for a while. If you can get Brees cheap in Dynasty, do it. I think he takes over later, but right now it's going to be a committee for a minute.
I don't know if it's going to be 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, but I know at some point this season it's going to shift where they're going to get Brees Hall the majority of the work, something like 60, 65% of the touches, and Michael Carter will take a back seat. But write out Michael Carter while you got him. That's fine. He's decent enough. And like Adam said, buy Brees. If you can get him on the cheap, people are going to start panicking, especially if you see it again next week and the week after. So,
yep. All right, shitheads, we appreciate y'all tapping in. As always, we'll be coming in with recaps every Sunday in between the 4 o'clock slate and the Monday night game or the Sunday night game, and keep tapping in to start sit. We actually didn't do too bad on the start sit today.
Not too bad for the first one, baby. We got a lot of them right.
Hey, we got a Schultz catch already, so it's like 23 points.
Boom. All right, we got to get to watching the content. We appreciate y'all tapping in. Peace.
Peace.